The basic structure of English sentences is the clause. A clause is a part of a sentence with its own subject and verb. And on this slide, you see some examples of sentences with only one clause. Skill 1 is about subjects and verbs. A sentence in English must have at least one subject and one verb. So the first thing you should do as you read a sentence in the structure section of the TOEFL test is to find the subject and the verb. And you can highlight this. The best thing to do is to use colors. So highlight the subject blue and the verbs red, just like you see in these sentences. Skill 2 is about objects of prepositions. A preposition is followed by a noun or a pronoun that is called an object of the preposition. If a word is an object of a preposition, it is not the subject. This is important to remember. So some examples of prepositions are down here, but there are many more prepositions. A preposition is a word that is used to show the relationship of one word or phrase to another word or phrase. So let's look at the example sentence. The fish swam around his bowl. The subject here is the fish. The verb is swam. And then we have the preposition around, and after the preposition is a noun, bowl. This is the object of the preposition, so it is definitely not the subject. Let's look at some more examples. So in this sentence, after several minutes, we located the key for the door. We have two prepositional phrases. First, we see the preposition after. Okay, the noun after the preposition, minutes, is the object of the preposition. Then there's another preposition, for, and the noun after the preposition is the object of the preposition, the door. Let's look at the next sentence. The flock of teeny swallows flew over the trees near the lake. We see of, that's a preposition. So then swallows here is the object of a preposition. We see another preposition, over. So the noun that comes after it, the trees, is the object of the preposition. The last preposition in the sentence is near, and the noun after that is the object of the preposition. So our main subject, our subject in this sentence, is the flock, and our verb is flew. Everything else is part of a prepositional phrase. So strategies to remember for structure questions 1 through 15 are: don't look at the answers, identify subjects and verbs, objects of prepositions cannot be subjects, and remember, connector, subject, verb, object. So the first strategy, don't look at the answers, is because the answers are very confusing. They all look very similar. So if you look at the answers first, you will get confused. What you want to do is look at the sentence, go through the word order, and determine what you need. Does the sentence need a subject, a verb? Find that out before you look at the answers. This is a lot easier. Another main strategy for these questions is to think about connector, subject, verb, object. This is the basic organization of English sentences. Your sentences need these. So, the first part, connectors, we will talk more about that later But right now, you see this box here? This shows how many clauses there are and how many connectors there need to be. If there's a sentence with only one clause, there are 0 connectors. The example is down here. John loves Mary. That is a simple sentence with only one clause. We have a subject, John, a verb, loves, and an object, Mary. Okay? When a sentence has 2 clauses, it needs 1 connector. So we see that in the next sentence. John thinks that Mary is very pretty. Our subject is John, the verb is thinks, and then we have our connector for the second clause. Our connector is that. And then, because we have 2 clauses, we need 2 subjects and 2 verbs. So we have our second subject, Mary, and then the verb is. Now it's time to practice. So, like I said before, you are not looking at the answers yet. Today, we're not going to look at the answers at all. So look at the first sentence. Mark Twain, something, the years after the Civil War, the Gilded Age. So what's our subject and verb? We can see our subject is Mark Twain. And then we look at the rest of the sentence. There is no verb. So that means that our answer needs to be a verb. Number 2, early, something, toes instead of hooves on their feet. Do we see a subject and verb in here? No, there's a prepositional phrase, but there's no subject or verb. So we will write SV right here, and we know our answer needs to have both a subject and a verb. Now number 3, something grow close to the ground in the short Arctic summer. Do we see a subject and verb? There's a verb right here, grow, but there's no subject in front of it. So we know right here this answer needs to have our subject. So you write an S on the line for subject because that's what you will look for when you see the answers. Your assignment is to do the same thing with the rest of these sentences. I want you to identify the subject in blue and the verb in red, and then write on the line what the answer will be. Subject, verb, both the subject and verb. If the sentence already has the whole formula, connector, subject, verb, then on the line you're going to write connector, subject, verb, or 0 for nothing. So your answer will have everything or nothing. It will be something else. Good luck, and message me if you have any questions.